So let me ask you something after watching the Patriots-Falcons Fog Bowl game last night. Are the Patriots really back, especially defensively, or are the Falcons simply that bad? I tend to believe still the latter is true. I don't think the Patriots are still worth a darn defensively. I think the fact of the matter is that the Falcons really continue to struggle offensively, as they have all season long. And that hire of Steve Sarkisian as the offensive coordinator, I don't care if he's on the field or up in the presses box as he's been coaching, it's just not working. This team is not clicking as it was a year ago. And that Patriots team that couldn't stop the Chiefs, couldn't stop the Texans, couldn't stop the Panthers, that's the real Patriots defense. Last night, they were simply aided by the fog and the fact that the Falcons are so ineffective right now moving the chains. So don't jump on the bandwagon. As I pointed out in yesterday's video report, and listen, I was wrong with the free pick on that game. But still, the Falcons that were #1 in scoring defense a year ago, they're not the same team this year. Now, granted, they entered last night's game second worst in the league in scoring defense this year. But again, I think last night it was simply a mirage. The other game yesterday, I talked about at length. I told you the Tennessee Titans, I thought that was a trap game, and it certainly proved to be, as they didn't come close to covering and needed overtime, in fact, to escape with the win at Cleveland. And of course, Jack Brayman yesterday, first ever 200-dime NFL release, that went down in flames. But how about Joey Juice? Joey Crutel, of course, one of the producers of the hit HBO show Ballers, came out yesterday and delivered big time. As after going 6-0 with his first 6 100-dime college football releases, with Saturday's winner being Notre Dame over USC, yesterday came out with his first ever 200-dime release. How about the Miami Dolphins? He rides the Dolphins. Jay Cutler gets injured. They come out with 17 unanswered points in the third quarter. He tells you to buy down the half point, which of course is always a wise strategy when you're laying 3, and they win by 3. You get them at 2.5. They get the win. They get the cover. So props going out to him. Also yesterday, Tommy Brunson continuing a red-hot week as he hit a 100-dime play, his 4th ever on Thursday night with Memphis outright at Houston, 5th ever 100-dime play on Saturday with Central Florida sinking Navy, 6th ever 100-dime play on Sunday with the Rams 33-0 over Arizona. Those were all over half price. Well, today, his first ever 150-dime play of his career since he joined the site at the beginning of September. First ever 150-dime play after a 6-0 sweep with those 100-dime releases. It's your Monday Night Lock, Washington, Philadelphia, and just like the 100-dime plays, you get it for over half price off by using coupon code 150. Well, let me just make sure I give you the right coupon code. That would certainly pay off, wouldn't it? 150 dimer, 150 dimer. That is your coupon code to get it for over half price off. Little FYI, Joey Juice, Joey Crutel, also has another 100-dime play going tonight. He is on the exact same side as Tommy is on this game here this evening. So there's a little heads-up consensus play for you. That is going to be my complimentary play tonight, the Eagles and the Redskins. Listen, guys, I've made no secret of it. A lifelong Eagles fan. As I've told you many times, you know, you've got to bet with your head, not with your heart. So I always have a difficult time when it comes to handicapping Eagles games. Now, what makes this game doubly tough, as far as I'm concerned, is the point spread. This line was 4.5, mainly 4.5 just about everywhere this morning. But by 10:30 Eastern time, this game powered up to 5 and then really settled at about 5.5 by 11 o'clock Eastern time. Well, to me, 5 is a bad number. 5.5 is just as bad. It's a nowhere land number. 5 might as well be 7 because that's the reality. 5.5 is even worse. Listen, you're saying basically you got to win by a touchdown because how many games do you see end on 5, end on 6? You got to win by a touchdown. That's the reality of this game. It's just not a great number as far as I'm concerned. All that being said, I still do like Philadelphia in this contest. So let's break down the game here. Now, the Eagles have been idle since that 28-23 win as a 2.5 to 3-point underdog at Carolina a couple of Thursdays ago. An impressive victory, especially since that night they were playing without their starting right offensive tackle, Lane Johnson, who was out because of concussion protocol. Defensively, another fine performance because they held Cam Newton to just 4.6 yards per pass attempt in that game on 28 completions. And the week prior, when they were home in a 34-7 blowout of Arizona, they held Carson Palmer to just 6.6 yards per completion attempt. They have scored 26 or more points in 4 straight games and 5 out of 6 games this season. Of course, they won the season opener at Washington 30-17. Now, you've got a Redskins team that just blew a 17-0 lead at home against San Francisco and then had to hold on for dear life for a 36-24 win when San Francisco brought in the rookie Beathard to quarterback and guide their comeback. And I told you yesterday with the free pick selection on the Cowboys that I was never impressed by Beathard when he was in college, and I didn't think he was going to get the job done for the 49ers yesterday, and you saw how miserable he played. Now, the Redskins have some injury problems, especially at the cornerback position with Josh Norman with the broken ribs. He's expected to miss the game, and Breland also going to be limited if he plays at all with the MCL injury. They also, of course, recently lost defensive end Jonathan Allen, who had gotten off to a great start in his rookie season. Now, go back to the first game. The Eagles had 4 sacks of Kirk Cousins in that contest. The Eagles have been getting great pressure without blitzing this season with Jim Schwartz's front four. For the year, they've blitzed on 22% of their pass plays. And when they have blitzed, opposing quarterbacks have a 53.5 passer rating, which is miserable. They've only completed 44.4% of their passes in such situations, and their average gain when the Eagles have blitzed, 4.2 yards. Now, in the first meeting, they blitzed Cousins a little higher, 29.5% of the time, because obviously they didn't respect the Redskins' ground game, and they figured they had to put the pressure on Cousins, and that's the second most times they have blitzed in any of their 6 games so far this season. Now, the Redskins in that first meeting were 3 for 11 on third downs. And one of the things that's really hurt the Redskins this season is, they lost 2 of their top pass catchers. They went out and signed Pryor, but he really hasn't been that successful, really turned into the go-to guy for Cousins as they envisioned when they went and made the signing. The other thing that's changed from the first go-round is the Eagles have become a much more efficient and much more ground-oriented team, especially on first down. In the first meeting, LeGarrette Blount ran the ball 14 times for 46 yards. But it's the way they've used the ground game in the last 4 games. Because you remember in week number 2, it's pretty much when they lost to Kansas City, they almost abandoned the run early. But from that point forward, they have pounded the rock on the ground and they have run so successfully. And they have especially been successful on first down. First 2 games, they only ran the ball on first down 36.9% of the time. The last 4 games, 62% of the time, they have run the ball on first down. Now, they've had success on first down. Blount has had success on first down. And when you combine the fact that Carson Wentz has been the top-rated quarterback on third downs in terms of completions, almost a 69% clip on the season, well, when you're getting good 4 or 5 yards a chunk on first down, and you got your quarterback completing at a near 70% clip on third down, that makes your offense certainly purr. And again, as I told you earlier in the video, they have scored 26 or more points in 4 straight games and 5 out of 6 this season. The other thing the Eagles have done very well is that defensively, they've allowed only 23 rushing first downs in their first 6 games. That's the 3rd best figure in the league going into this Week 7 action. And on first downs, they've been holding opponents to just 1.67 yards per carry on first down. So they've done a very effective job. They're getting good pass rush without necessarily blitzing. They're containing the run as well. Now that Fletcher Cox is back, he returned for that game against Carolina, and you saw what a disruptive force he was against Cam Newton. I just think that all the metrics are there to go ahead and back the Eagles. Again, I'm not personally betting them. I'm going to sit there as a fan tonight and cheer them on. I think the best bet is actually in the NBA tonight. But I do like the Eagles. And to be honest with you, totally honest with you, if this line was at 4.5 and I could go ahead and buy down to 4, I would probably go ahead and bet the Eagles. The only thing, and the reason I have just a little trepidation about this game is, this could be a 24-20 game. This could be a 27-24, 27-23 game because the Redskins are going to score some points here. That's the only thing I fear. So that's why I relegated to the free play and headed off to the NBA with my money tonight. But I do like Philadelphia as your complimentary play. And that'll do it. And we'll talk tomorrow about a little World Series action between the Dodgers and the Astros and plenty of NBA as well. Good luck, everybody.